What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe Notice off DFS here to bring you that WNBA slate breakdown for the two-game WNBA slate on the 15th of July, July the 15th, however the hell you say it. If you guys new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content your boy drops off here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos or content is helping you guys win some money. Tonight's core, not doing too bad, not doing too great. I will be honest, Salon, man, I really expected more from her. I'm gonna have to be out on the Golden State Valkyries probably moving forward, unless it is like Veronica Burton, who is balling, having an amazing day. Cardosa, she freaking sold me. Cardosa didn't sell me. The coaching staff sold me, because after a dominant performance, her minutes. It's always her minutes. It is always her minutes. It is always her minutes. Not like she was in foul trouble or anything. It's just always her minutes, man. I hate it. 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 And then Bonner, even though she didn't start, I knew that she was going to be able to go out here and ball, in which she is balling. She's scoring left and right, rebounding the ball. She's playing really well. So that's really great. Definitely, of course, looking at my course, like, damn, I could have made a couple of changes, made a couple of pivots. Onion Winnie, I talked her up into the stream yesterday, like that she was good value, 4,800 starter that is starting, and we just need her to go out here and just get a couple of points. If she gets me 10, I'll be okay with that, which she went out there and got 18. So definitely was a great upside play right there to play Onion. And then she got injured, and she was balling. She was playing very well out there. Salon, I'm just, man, damn, just damn. But hey, you know, you live, you learn. It is what it is. The notes from today, pretty good. If you guys were able to read it or check it out, definitely link for that was down in the description below. I also posted it on to the YouTube tab for you guys to be able to check that out over there. Those that have the Patreon, you definitely were able to get it. One thing that I'm starting to include is some prop plays. Unfortunately, all these props right here for this one, unfortunately, did not pan out in that game. But for our second game, definitely got my face back, because Dewana Bonner over the PRA, Stephen Whitcomb, she's hitting these threes. And then Alyssa Thomas, she's already gone over the assist line already as well. So definitely some decent stuff that was put out over here onto the Patreon. If you guys would like to check it out, link for that is down in the description below. All right, looking on over to the end of the Fever, taking on the Connecticut Sun, and the Washington Mystics taking on the Los Angeles Sparks. Woo! No injury news to report for either one of these teams. Biggest, well, not even the biggest thing. The main thing that we already know is that for the Connecticut Sun, Marina Mabry, she's still out with her knee, ankle, foot. I don't know what the hell's wrong with her anymore at this point. Indiana Fever, one of two games that they played going up against Connecticut Sun, they had Caitlin Clark. One of them they did not, which was the first one. The second one they did have her. The way I see this game going is kind of like what they've already done when they've going up against the Fever. Everyone just tries to go ahead and stop Caitlin, which I definitely see that being 110% Connecticut's MO. More like going to have Bria Hartley out there trying to rough her up. Sanaya Rivers probably trying to guard her, trying to rough her up and things like that. JC Sheldon, which is someone that no one likes over on the Fever. JC Sheldon just going ahead and getting at her as well. But hey, Caitlin, she got her face back. Well, not even her face back. She definitely got my somewhat respect back. It doesn't show the game log from it, but she went out there, she did her thing going up against my Dallas Wings. Definitely a great all-around game. The defensive stats is really what stood out to me. So hopefully she can bring that over on the road. The Fever are different on the road, going up against the Connecticut Sun. I would love to see that here in this position spot. Outside of Caitlin, definitely do think Aaliyah Boston 10-9. That's not too bad of a bad price tag to pay for her. We have seen opposing bigs be able to go out there and have decent games going up against Connecticut Sun. So definitely be a spot that I could potentially come down to Boston if I don't want to get a pair to pay for Clark, because I don't see myself paying $9K for Natasha Howard. I just think that's too much. That to me is too much to go pay for Natasha. Now I understand that she has played well going up against the Connecticut Sun, at least in the second game that they played going up against them, but that was back at the crib for them. She dropped 33.5 fantasy points versus them. I don't know. I don't know. Her minutes are just, again, back and forth for me. She plays hard, doesn't, and sometimes Cunningham's coming in, getting the minutes and stuff. It's a lot going on. I kind of think I'm going to stick with looking at Clark, Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, who I know are definitely going to be out there. Maybe a sprinkle of Sophie Cunningham, whose price is not too bad, and we have seen that Hull will get pulled for Cunningham to come in and play those minutes right there as well. So I definitely can take a stab at possibly looking at Cunningham. I'm not expecting another 35+ outing from her, but definitely someone that I can possibly take a look at. And then besides her, Michaela Timpson, she was out there. She was balling in that last game going up against my Dallas Wings as well. After logging 0 minutes versus Atlanta Dream. Hopefully that does not happen happen again if anyone does decide to roster her, but I do think she's a decent value option that you could potentially look to on today's slate. Going over here to Connecticut Sun, who are another shorthanded team. Tina Charles, 8,800, finally came back down to earth in that last game going up against the Sparks. 22.25 fantasy points in that one. Hasn't played the greatest going up against the Indiana Fever on the season. 31 fantasy points and 20 fantasy points. I mean, that's okay, but definitely would kind of want more, especially for someone who's a usage hub like herself. But 8,800, that's not a bad price tag. That's definitely pretty safe. I will say that the prices for the Washington Bigs is pretty much right there, and I would much rather play the Washington Bigs going up against the Sparks than playing Tina Charles, old dusty bag of bones who can get pulled if the game wants to get a blowout, versus the Connecticut Sun. Outside of that, Sanaya Rivers, Bria Hartley, both these guys, they're hooping. They're looking very good out there. And I do like the upside of what I am starting to see from Sanaya Rivers. Definitely has strung together a couple of really great games. 7,800. That's not a bad price tag to pay for her. If she can come out there and be aggressive, looking to score, and then continue to do what she's been doing on the defensive side of things, getting those steals, getting those blocks, and a couple of rebounds and things like that. Some other peripheral stat that'll be pretty great. I don't mind her at that 7,800 price tag. I think that's pretty safe for her. And then you can come down to Bria Hartley, who she herself also put together some pretty decent games as well. Going up against the Indiana Fever, I want to say she only played 14 minutes in one game, and then the other game she played 24 minutes. 24 minutes, of course, she put up a better fantasy point outing, 19.24. She is a starter now. She is permanently like the actual starter, so I could see myself getting a Bria Hartley at 6,600. That's not a bad price tag spot. I do think that she definitely has something in the tank. Now, outside of that, LaCan. She is coming off the bench, but I personally do think she will eventually get the start. She's 4,600. She's played 30 minutes in back-to-back games. I don't see that stopping anytime soon. This is the value of today's slate. I will not be surprised if she's over 50+% owned. This is definitely going to be the player that I want to get to on the slate right there. But boom, go ahead and just lock her in. I don't see any way to go past it. She is a 4,600 player that is playing 30+ minutes, going up against the Indiana Fever, a fast-paced team. I understand that she hasn't had that big blow-up game or anything like that, which is great. They're keeping her right there in that value range where we can get at least about 15+ fantasy points from her and just feel okay. I'm okay if she gets 15 and whatever she gets me beyond that. That's what I'm wanting her to get to. She rebounds the ball. She plays some defense. She can facilitate a little bit, but the scoring will eventually come around as long as she keeps taking those shots. I have no ape-grade complaint about that at all whatsoever. Washington Mystics taking on the Los Angeles Sparks. This one should be a good game right here, especially if the Mystics can go ahead and come out with that intensity. Shakira Austin, she definitely fucked me over on Sunday. And when I say fucked me over, she legit did, man. She did not start the third quarter because she had to take a shit. She had to go doo-doo, as Drewski would say. Like, she the coach came out and said, she didn't start the third because she had to use the bathroom. In my head, you had to take a shit. That's the only reason why you ain't out there, because there's no way that you had to go piss and it took you all of halftime. Nah, you took a shit. She took a shit, man. She took a shit. But this is definitely a decent spot for her to be able to go out here and have another great game. She's been playing pretty well over her last several games. 27, 32, 38, minus the 16, 24 fantasy points, 34 fantasy points, 36. It goes on and on. Say for about 30-ish fantasy points, a decent spot to do that going up against the Sparks, who can give up fantasy points to opposing bigs. And I do like the upside for her. If not for Shakira Austin, we definitely come down here to the double-double machine. Well, she has cooled off quite a bit, but we could definitely come back down here to our girl Kiki Arifin. 8K, not bad at all. For her price tag. Definitely, if you think that Shakira can get herself in a foul trouble or she's going to be messed up, pulled out of the paint, trying to guard and deal with Azrae Stevens, I could see going with Kiki. Citron and Sykes, they're pretty much priced both around the same. I will say Sykes looks like she's getting her mojo back. She is definitely playing much better these last two games. For her, 19 and 18 points in those two games, 31, 24 fantasy points. If she can go ahead and string together, give us those defensive stops and things like that, this is the perfect spot, the great game going up against the Sparks for her to be able to give us that for us. But 9,400, definitely do not mind paying that for Sykes at all. And then if you don't want to pay Sykes, you think maybe she's going to draw the Rakia Jackson defense or something like that, definitely can come down here to Citron. I don't mind taking her. We haven't had a big Citron game in quite some time. This could be one of those spots for her. Over here on the bench, not looking at Dolson, not looking at Olsen, Inkster. I'm not looking at any of these over here off the bench, really. I will say that it would just be Leah Edwards, just because if the other two main bigs get themselves in the foul trouble, we can see Edwards come in and play a good spell of minutes out there. Other than that, Melbourne's not getting enough run, burn, usage, or anything like that. Same thing for Dolson, Olsen. Someone has to be missing at the guard rotation for Olsen to go out there and play. Same thing for Emily. Someone has to be missing in front of her for the bigs for her to be able to actually go out there and play. So I think that's just a waste of just even looking at it. On the flip side of things, for the Los Angeles Sparks, I think this is a great spot for Azrae Stevens. Like this we just saw what Ezzy was able to go out there and do with the blocks, with the steals, with just scoring, knocking down her threes, rebounding, all that stuff. She is pretty much the same archetype as Azurá Stevens. I see the exact same thing. So I love the upside, love this position, love the spot for Azurá to go out here and have a really great day. 11-2 makes sense. We really don't have too many studs to worry about trying to pay up and fit in on today's slate, because you just have Clark, you got Boston. Like, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Everyone else is 9K range and below. So Azurá Stevens, 11-2, love the upside, love the position and spot. Definitely do think that she's been putting together some pretty great games outside of this one going against the Minnesota Lynx. So I do like it. Upside is definitely there, especially if she's able to make it a block party. Derek and Hamby, if you think maybe it's going to be the reverse and it's going to be Hamby that pops off instead of Stevens, definitely can flip down here, go to Hamby. But I think Stevens is the safer one right now. Hamby is going to be the GPP option that you can pivot to. Going real quick to the bench, Van Loo, that's your GPP option. We know she is going to go out there and play some minutes, but there's no telling if she's going to go out there and play 15 or she's going to go out there and play 10. Same thing for Burrell, Barker, Foreign, and Cannon. Not really looking there. Julie Alleman, she's kind of like, she's there. She's just coasting, because just there. 20-ish fantasy points would be what I would expect for Alleman. 5,800 can't kill your line, but definitely would be if I get into that range at the guard position and I already got LeCan and I paid up at for the forwards instead on today's slate. Then I could definitely go ahead and go to Julie Alleman right there. Rakia Jackson, 8,400. RJ can definitely go out here and have a decent day. I will say she's coming off of a pretty great game. 36 fantasy points going up against the Connecticut Sun right there. I'm not too inclined necessarily to go run, chase, and go ahead and play her by any means. I would kind of want to get over here to Plum. I do think that she might be able to, well, no, this is not a good matchup for Plum. Those threes are not going to be there for her going up against Washington. So maybe I can consider RJ, but I think if I got to mess with any of the guards over here for me, it would just be Alleman, Stevens, my favorite two plays over here for them. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'll have a breakdown for this posted up tomorrow. Hopefully you guys have a good night, because this is technically recorded at night, and hopefully you guys can go ahead and crush the slate as well. 2 more slates before we get the All-Star break. Definitely looking forward to that. Get a little R&R from doing all this stuff, and then just focus more on my schoolwork and stuff like that. Good luck to everybody. Hopefully you guys take down, cash out, whatever it is that you guys played and did. Peace.